Well, what's up again, guys? Brian here at 3TR, here to bring you another solid episode of the People's Questions. This time we got a ton of questions. I'm not sure how that's possible, but I gotta work with what I could get. Starting off real simple with the first question coming from Zyborg136. You want to know, what actors would I have planned to play Batman and Joker currently? And you also agree with my rant on Wonder Woman. You know, I've been asked that so many times over the years. I'm not really the type of person who could pick who I would cast in certain roles like that. There are certain characters that I think I could do that with, but Batman and Joker are not one of them. I really think there's a bunch of actors that could bring something different to the characters of Batman and Joker. I just don't know how to really explain it. Next question comes from Cassidy J. Williams. You want to know, will I go see Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom, Venom, Black Panther, Pacific Rim, Uprising, and Deadpool next year? Yeah, sure, why not? I generally go see the movies and see as many as I can, and all of those are, basically sequels or related to movies that I've seen this year or movies I've seen in the past that I enjoyed, so yeah, of course. Next question comes from Goku-san. You want to know, have I ever had a blue screen error on my PC, and if so, how did I fix it? I haven't had, basically you have a blue screen of death. Yes, that has happened, but I haven't had to deal with that in a while. The way I dealt with it was I basically just wiped my computer, which at the time wasn't really that good because I did have a lot of information on it. Now luckily I come prepared these days, and instead of having one computer or two, I have three. So next to my PC over there, I have two laptops, and I just make sure that any crucial information that I have, I make sure to copy it on all my devices. So if one ever goes down, I can easily just turn to the other ones. But usually I would just wipe my computer to get rid of it, and then just get another installation disk and install it again. Next question comes from Andrew Rogers, and you basically make statements that you would like to see a live stream. If so, you don't mind. That would be sweet considering how fun the Resident Evil 4 live stream was. Okay, I'm gonna let you guys know this. On my next off day, which is going to be next Thursday, I'm actually going to do a live stream of The Evil Within 2. I just got done with South Park, which I thought just wouldn't be that great for a live stream, but I think that playing The Evil Within 2 will. Next Thursday at about maybe noon, I'm going to play The Evil Within for about 3 to 4 hours. I'll be sure to add another notification on my social media outlets just to let everybody know. So next Thursday at about noon Pacific time, feel free to join me for a live stream, and hopefully we can have quite a lot of fun while we're killing a bunch of, like mutant demons or something now. Next question comes from Demetrius Puffer, and you want to know, if I had a chance to go backward in time and fix one mistake, what would it be and why? One mistake. Honestly, if I could be honest, I think I would go back and stop myself from meeting a certain person that I once thought was a good friend. I mean, there's a lot of mistakes that I have made, but when I think about it, if I hadn't made them, I wouldn't be who I am or where I am today. But for this particular instance, when I think about it, if I stop myself from meeting this one person, not much would really have changed. I think only really one major event would not be included, but I think it's something that, I could easily change, or I could just redo it somewhere else, and I think it would have been a much better experience. So basically it's go back and stop myself from ever being friends with somebody. Next question comes from Santi Scorpion. You want to know, have I ever seen Red vs. Blue? Yeah, I've seen a few episodes of it. I think it's a pretty funny series. I think it's pretty cool how they were able to pull that off with a Halo. So yeah, I've seen it. Next question comes from Matt Cruz. You want to know, what is my favorite comedy-based movie? Ew. I don't know. I'd probably say maybe Scary Movie 1 or 2. I think those are like really proper parodies on the, you know, the scary movie genre as well as pop culture references. Yeah, it would probably be one of the first two scary movies in terms of just pure comedy. Which funny thing is, I think both of them were on Netflix. I was actually rewatching Scary Movie 2 just the other day, so yeah, definitely that. Next question comes from Good Neutral Evil Chaos. You want to know, why do I hate Wonder Woman? I hate Wonder Woman for a number of reasons, but to keep it simple, I just don't like her character. I don't like how she operates. I hate that basically everyone around her she basically infects, which is why I hate when she's ever interacting with Batman and Superman. She just seems to make them worse characters. And what the problem I have for is that I don't even think she's that good of a hero. It just seems like she's the kind of, just from how the character was created in her backstory, it seems like she would make a far more significant villain than hero that would interact with members of the Justice League. And you know the old saying, your hero is defined by your villains. Wonder Woman does not have a legitimately good villain. I challenge anyone to name one. Ares is a god of war. I don't really consider him a villain. He's the god of war. I mean, come on. Toymaker? Cheetah? Artemis? The Firstborn? I mean, she does not have a single villain that challenges the hero in the ways that like a Lex Luthor would challenge Superman, or a Joker that could challenge Batman. Hell, even Hal Jordan and the Flash have villains like that. Wonder Woman doesn't have any of that. So the fact that Wonder Woman is praised as being the greatest female superhero of all time, I think is absolutely ridiculous. She is not worthy, in my opinion, of being part of the trilogy. I would easily put someone like a Green Lantern or Flash in that position, because at least they have actually gone through some really tough shit. There is absolutely no tragedy in Wonder Woman's backstory, and there is nothing about her character that makes any sense to her actions on wanting to leave Themyscira. Because she's curious about man's world? You're an Amazon. You have no reason to be curious. It is just stupid, and I challenge anyone to try to convince me otherwise. Really, I've just never liked the character. Even when I was a kid, there was always something about Wonder Woman that really just kind of put me in a bad position, made me feel very uncomfortable about her as a character. And that, and just to keep it short, is just a short list of reasons why I hate Wonder Woman. Next question comes from Alice Bear. I don't even know how to pronounce his name, or I give up. You want to know, do I believe the theory that Nero could be Virgil's son? Okay, wow, you even mentioned this. It's like, get it right next time. It's like, I can't even say it. I can't say. I'm sorry, man. I can't say it. But do I think that Nero could be Virgil's son? I've had people tell me that he is, and I think I even read in one, I don't know, it's like one bit of information that said he was Nero's son. Someone semi-confirmed it. My problem with this is that Virgil does not seem to be, if anything, between Dante and Virgil does not seem to be interested in humans at all. So it seems, I'm trying to figure out how Nero could be conceived. Now, there was an opportunity for them to clear that up in the newly released Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition. There was actually a cutscene at the end of Virgil's gameplay, which didn't make much sense, where he stares at this woman as he's walking away. Maybe that's Nero's mother, we don't know. But as people say that Nero is Virgil's Virgil's son, but we haven't really been given a clear explanation. They easily could do it, and it just feels, from a character standpoint, it just doesn't make sense from Virgil to want to have a child with a human because of his personality. I could see Dante doing that, absolutely, but not Virgil. Next question comes from Queen Vivalada, and you want to know, you know that I've done this fight twice, but do I think that Cole the Beast would have any trouble with Delson with all the powers that he gained? Probably not, because Cole's power is the ability to turn on and turn off powers. And here's the problem that I have with the whole Dolson thing. We have absolutely no idea what powers he could have had. There is no list. There is no record of what he could get. He says, oh, I'm going to walk into prison and take all these powers. If you can get me a list of all the powers that he would gain, I would include them, but you can't. So when it comes to using Dolson at the end of his evil arc, I can only use the powers that we know he has, not with what he may have. No one, I swear to you, if someone gets me a list, a legitimately list from Sucker Punch stating what powers he did have, I would be more than happy to doing another rematch pitting Beast Cole against infamous Dolson with all his powers to see who would go at it. But until that day comes, I can only work with what I get. Next question comes from sorry, Diadrive CJ. You want to know, you seem fairly solid and knowledgeable of comics. When did I start and why did I stop reading them? Basically time. You know, but I think that's kind of how life works. I mean, when you're much younger, you have a lot more free time to do stuff. But as you get older and you deal with more adult and real world issues, you kind of don't have as much time as you like. I mean, heck, that's even how it is for me with gaming. I mean, trust me, like I say, maybe 5-6 years ago, I had way more time to game. But now, you know, with the job I have and the things I have to do on the channel, I have far less time. I mean, I'm lucky on days where I do have work if I have like 4 or 5 hours to play, but now it's only like maybe 2 or 3 hours a day, which makes it very hard for me to find time to beat games and get reviews up. So basically the real world and adulthood kind of got into the way. Next question comes from Nuki Player, and you want to know, I don't know that much on Wonder Woman, but what is the issue with her? Okay, I just answered that question, so let's move on. Next question comes from Yoda Date. You want to know, could I do anime versus anime matchups? Anime is a little bit tough, because I mean here's the challenge with doing anime characters. It's the sources. When it comes to video game characters, the characters that I use are very much contained within their games. There aren't too many outlets outside of them that I can draw from. There are a few characters that are, but most of them that all the information that I need from them is in the game itself. You might find a couple little, you know, side websites that have a little bit more information, but most of the information that I have is in the game itself. When you go to anime, you probably have to worry about the show and the manga. And with the manga, I think getting the research from that would take considerably longer. I mean, I stated this is why I probably would never use a matchup involving someone like an Inuyasha or Shishomaru, despite the fact I would love to do a 2-on-2 against them versus Dante and Virgil. It's not so much Dante and Virgil's part. I have those parts down, but I would have to find a way to find time to watch every single episode of the anime show, find a way to read all the issues of the manga, get my hands on all of the games and movies, and that seems like something that a team of people want to do. I mean, that's kind of one of the advantages that like a group like Death Battle has. They have entire teams that do all this research. I'm just one person, so I don't have time to do that much research. Literally, a match like that could take up to 6 months to do because of how much little free time I have these days. So that's probably why I probably won't be tackling anime anytime soon. Next question comes from Black Rabbit of Inil, and you want to know, a lot of people say that Portable Ops and Peace Walker were unnecessary to mitigate. What do I think? I think that's absolutely ridiculous. I think they were absolutely necessary. The reason why, for me, Portable Ops is significant is because we are first introduced to Frank Yeager, which explains why Frank Yeager is so loyal to Big Boss. And on top of that, Portable Ops is the moment where Big Boss transitions from being a solo person to a leader of men. By the time we get to Big Boss fighting against Solid Snake, he is a leader of an army. How did he go from being a solo guy to leading an army? You don't just do that overnight. He had to gradually work into it. And then going into Peace Walker, we see that continue. And I think at that point, the most significant element of Peace Walker is he's finally able to let go of the boss. He finally gets to that point. Up to that point, that moment where he killed the boss had always kind of haunted him. And though you do see a little bit of that in Metal Gear Solid 4 when he's visiting her gravesite with Solid Snake, I think that with him being able to kind of accept what happened with the boss, that was the moment he became his own man, no longer based on the boss's ideas. And that was also kind of the time frame that he's in a conflict with Zero. And I would even go as far as to say that within that time frame, or like maybe a few years before, that's really when the Laissez-Fontaine project was made. So at that point, Solid and Liquid Snake were kind of born. So I absolutely think that Peace Walker and Portable Ops are absolutely significant. I certainly have played them, and I certainly wouldn't trade them for anything else in the franchise. I think they are must plays in my opinion. Next question comes from Tequilico Man 91. Wow, I haven't seen you in a while. And he wants to know, have you considered training boxing? No, not really. I'm not really a fan of boxing. Next question comes from wow, I don't even know how to say this, so I'll just leave it right up there. And he wants to know, what are my thoughts of the new Star Wars trailer? You hated The Force Awakens. It looks so bad. Well, I saw the trailer, and I don't have much to say on it because I will not be seeing this film. I stated this. In fact, I think like I only have maybe 2 movies this year I plan on seeing. And I think after I go see Thor Ragnarok, I'll be able to start working on my top 10 best movies and top 10 worst movies list video, which will be in November, so I'll be able to get to them a lot sooner than most people. Next question comes from the Immortal Super Being, and you want to know, you think that the soundtrack to Horizon Zero Dawn is incredible and emotional. What do I think of it? Oh, I thought it was incredible also. I still think that Horizon Zero Dawn is probably my favorite game of the year, and I think once I get past these last few games of the year, I'm fairly certain that that for me is going to be my game of the year. But yeah, the soundtrack was absolutely incredible. Next question comes from JBat. You want to know, do I think that there will ever be a Star Wars film or trilogy set in ancient times? So you mean the Old Republic? I can't see that happening because this is Disney, and you know, Disney so wants to just completely wipe out any remnants of the old Star Wars world. I can't see them wanting to even venture back into that time frame. So no, I can't see that happening. Next question comes from Virgil, the son of Sparta. You want to know, did Cloud and Tifa, some people say, because I say it differently, did they end up together after Advent Children, and do I think they ever went to the romantic side of things? It's not really clear. If you read the script of Advent Children, there was a moment that wasn't included in the film itself, where Tifa does, it happens when both of them kind of wake up in these beds, and Tifa openly asks Cloud if he loves her, and Cloud was just kind of pretending like he was asleep, like he didn't want to answer that question. So I think there is something there. I absolutely think so. I've always seen it was always him and her instead of him and Aerith, who Aerith was clearly with Zack, and they're both dead. But I think he might be a little bit afraid of loss. I mean, I still you know, have hope. Maybe we'll see a third entry, or perhaps they'll do something in the remake. Because I feel with the remake they're gonna change some story elements. So I would be perfectly fine if they changed a few things and they make that an official thing in the remake of 7. I would be perfectly okay with that. But as far as Advent Children, I think they're just really close friends, which, you know, for me is perfectly okay. And the next question comes from Hugo Blood, and you want to know, if I could forge any weapon from a video game or movie, what would it be and why? A lightsaber. Why? Because lightsabers are awesome and probably the coolest weapon in cinema history. So yeah, keep it simple. And that is the last question of the episode. So, wow, that was a long one. So I'd like to thank all of you guys for help making this extremely long episode of People's Questions. You guys are awesome. And if you guys have any more questions you'd like to answer in next week's episode, be sure to type them in the comments down below. But make sure you get into me before next Wednesday before I start filming this. And like always, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.